Welcome, everyone, to another great episode of Tea Time with Tommy. There we go, Fisto. And guys, we have a very special guest, independent professional wrestler LuFisto. Thank you, LuFisto, for joining us out of your busy schedule.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, thank you for coming on. And yes, we have our co-hosts, Norbs Cabrera and Sean Columbus. Let's get right into it, guys. All right. First question, LuFisto, is where did you come up with that such cool nickname that you have, LuFisto? Where did that come from?
It's a very long story. I used to be known as Lucifer when I started. I know, not really original, but um, eventually Jacques Rougeau, whom I was working for, changed my name without telling me to Precious Lucy. So I kind of got stuck with it because it was in the newspapers everywhere. And it kind of worked because being doing hardcore a lot back then, Precious Lucy, and then you go out and you do the hardcore stuff. People did not expect that. So the difference between the name and the style was surprising, and it did work, although I hated that name. I really hated that name. And when I went to Japan, they could not pronounce Precious, and there was already a Lucy, so they asked me to change my name. So I took the Lu from Lucy. And Fisto actually comes from Batman's Mac Fisto, which is a character that was supposed to be played by Bono following the Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me video. And it was kind of a singing devil, and it never worked for some reason. They didn't do anything with it, but I like the idea of the character, so I put Lou and Fisto together for LuFisto. And you can pronounce it in any language, whether it's English, Spanish, Japanese, or French. So it was the perfect name. Sounded strong, and I'm also a big Star Wars fan, so Jedi Fisto. So that worked perfect.
Yeah, awesome. Well, my brother's also a Star Wars fan. It's an amazing franchise for sure.
Did you
Being
know
a
actually my first
Yeah.
entrance music was the Imperial March from Darth
Oh
Vader?
wow, that
Oh,
is
jeez.
incredible. Nice. uh, Being a wrestling veteran yourself with many years of experience, are there any like particular matches that you can think of that has stood out to you the most and has meant so much to you?
There's a lot of matches that I really like, and they're like dear to my heart for the various reasons. A lot of people will talk about the match with Necro Butcher because I became the king of the death match by beating him, and it was a very violent match, and it kind of proved that women could go out there and be as tough as the guys. And actually, at the end of the match, he he takes the mic and says, "Well, tonight I'm going to say it. You're the man." So I was the man before. And
Awesome.
besides this one, of course, Cage of Death at CCW with Nick Gage and John Zendig and Lobo, three hardcore like main names. So being in there with them was very intimidating, but I'm like really proud that I'm still the only woman who did enter the cage. Besides that, a lot of matches comes to mind. One with Kimberly at Beyond Wrestling, AR Fox Beyond Wrestling 2. We wrestled in a venue. It was 105 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like
Cool.
what, 50 degrees Celsius. It was like so hot, and I remember the promoter Drew going like, "Oh well, if you want to do less time because we had 15 minutes." He's like, "Oh, if you want to do less, I totally understand." And we went in there for the 15. Like, you guys were
Wow.
crazy. That match was great. And all my matches versus Mercedes Martinez, we had a feud going into I think four or five different promotions. Jolitter, Melissa, all my tag team matches with Jordan Grace, and Asuka. So lots of matches are really important to me that I can't really pick one. These are all like special to me.
So you
Awesome.
mentioned the Cage of Death and CZW, and I know you go by the name First Lady of Hardcore, and your venture into intergender hardcore wrestling is definitely unique. So, what got you into this style of wrestling along your career?
like I've always been influenced by the Japanese Joshi style, like right from the start of my career. Like I was watching Bull Nakano, I was watching Akira Kudo, um, um, Mariko Yoshida, and all those names, and like a very hard hitting, very like that was my main influence, I would say. And when it comes to hardcore, it just happened. I was wrestling for a promotion in Quebec called ICW, and one of the brothers who was running it, like he says, you know what, these guys don't want to wrestle you, and I was the only girl, so he's like, I'm gonna wrestle you. I think there's something special here that we can create. And he Serge Prou, his name, and he he was one of the meanest heels ever there. Like he would look at you and you would be scared. I remember the crowd being so intimidated by him, and he was known to like just go completely nuts during his match, where chairs flying and tables and cookie sheets and all that stuff. So during the match, first of all, the first match we had, there was almost a riot. So I'm like,
Oh boy.
That's insane.
Great stuff.
yeah, which actually was for his championship, the provincial championship. Um, we ended up in the crowd and chairs and all kinds of stuff, uh, and I bled for the first time, and it just happened. It's not like it was planned. It was his wrestling style, so I just went with it. He's like, he's the veteran, I'm doing whatever he said, and I actually won the championship that night. Uh, like it was my second male championship, and we're talking '99, and yeah, it just happened, and then from there it was always about doing more and proving people wrong, because people were like, women shouldn't be doing hardcore. You take this too seriously. So I'm like, okay, then watch me. So added chairs, added tables, added thumbtacks, and then the barbed wire and the lights. That's pretty much where I stopped the lights.
Excellent.
I remember
Prove everyone wrong, right?
lights. It's like, okay, that's like no fire, no nothing, but lights I think were my things. I loved lights because the sound when they get destroyed is like so amazing. So, and everything in wrestling is about creating an emotion. So when you use lights, they go pow, and people are like, so it was a slow like process, and it just kind of happened, and then it was just me being hard headed and wanted to prove that I could do more and more and more and prove people wrong.
Wow, great story you have. Amazing, Fisto. You have such an illustrious career. You've been in the industry for great, amazing long time. I have to ask if you had. No, it's just yeah. You're definitely a veteran. You're definitely a veteran.
24 years this month, Lord.
Oh, it's
That's awesome.
amazing. Which three wrestlers in wrestling history would you like to be a tag team partner with if you had a choice?
There's probably more than three. Definitely Mick Foley. I think the first lady of hardcore and the original king of hardcore. I mean, like, I love Mick Foley too as a human, as a person. He's so kind, and when the CCW thing happened with them promoting us as pretty much porn star, and I came forward about it. He was very, very supportive. So Mick Foley, definitely for the wrestling style, his history, and the fact that he's just an amazing human being. I would love to team with him. Besides that, I would have to go with my greatest influence, Bull Nakano and Akira Kudo. And just so I have something Canadian and crazy, I would go with Luna Vachon.
Nice. Great choices.
Yeah, for sure. Mick Foley's amazing. Like one of my favorites as well. Like you've traveled and competed in many parts of the world, in many different promotions. What are your fondest memories of your travels?
Definitely going to Mexico and being treated as a superhero. They love lucha libre so much. When you go there, it's in the newspapers. You have to go on TV to talk about your match. It's really like what is hockey to Canada. Like, you know how the players, they have interviews after the match, before the match, and then the matches get analyzed by your previous players. So it's the same thing, but for wrestling. So, and they love it so much. They are so loving, and you really feel like you are bringing them, and you're actually someone important when you go there. So that's my main, like my fondest memories about Mexico. The love that they have for wrestling. And I always say my favorite place is Germany because it's just I can't even explain how it is when you're in that ring. They get into the match so like they're loud. They sing your name, and you can really see in their faces that they just love this. And like last year, I went to WXW and I won the Femme Fatale tournament, and the reaction was just amazing. They react to everything, and yeah, it's just one of my favorite places on Earth.
So it seems like you have a lot of upcoming plans and places you still want to go. So what's your upcoming plans for the wrestling business this year?
Definitely. Hopefully, well, I don't know about this year or next year with the COVID. We don't know. But, I had a few things planned before everything shut down. I was going to the United States to discuss a few things for possible like future bookings and bigger opportunities, and then that got canceled, unfortunately. And now with the border closed, I don't know if it's going to happen. I just hope so. And besides that, I was talking with Ring of Europe to go and have more shows there. And so hopefully that happens. I would really, really love to go back to Europe. So crossing my fingers. And Canada, which is probably the place where wrestling going to start first. Well, I mean, there's some shows right now in the States, but with the border closed, nothing happening. But definitely, I really want to go back to C4 wrestling. I'd like to go back to Smash wrestling and FLQ in Quebec. These are like probably my main three. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing, LuFisto. So yes, we always end our segments with our trivia, wrestling trivia. So are you ready for some wrestling trivia?
I mean,
amazing. Let's get right to it. Wrestling trivia with LuFisto. Here we go. Question number 1. What is The Rock's hometown?
Miami.
Boom. 1 for 1. And of course, you can definitely use lifelines here, LuFisto, but I don't think you'll need it. So let's keep, we're going on. Great job. Question number 2. What is Hulk Hogan's theme song?
Which one? Which Hogan?
Oh yes, the one, the 80s Hogan.
The Rocket.
Yeah,
80s. The real American.
Boom.
On Canada Day.
Real American on Canada Day.
How about that?
Wow, 2 for 2, LuFisto, doing great. Let's go with question number 3. What was Chris Jericho's favorite move?
What era? I'm a big Chris Jericho fan. I need to know what era.
That'll be the mid-20s, early 2000s, not 20s, sorry, early 2000s.
If he's in WWE, it's Walls of Jericho, and if he's like we're talking before that, it's the Lion King.
Wow, 3 for 3 for LuFisto.
I love Chris Jericho.
I can see.
My favorite time of this is when he was like a conspiracy victim. And he was looking around outside.
Best times in
the
Jericho.
Stars and the long list and the Man of 1,004 Olds. I'm like, I love Chris Jericho.
Amazing stuff, indeed.
You are 3 for 3. So if you get 2 more, you will be our 10th all-time tea time perfect trivia winner. Let's go with question number 4. True or false? Did Trish Stratus attend York University?
Yes, she did.
Boom! Wow. 4 for 4 for LuFisto. One more guys, and she will become our 10th all-time trivia perfect winner. Question number 5. Who did Ronda Rousey defeat to win her first women's WWE championship?
It's not Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss.
Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, LuFisto has become our 10th
Incredible.
all-time trivia winner. Think about LuFisto. Great job again. Great job again. Perfect trivia winner. So before we go, would you like to give a shout out to how they can follow you on social media, LuFisto?
Sure, the best way is to go on my website, LuFisto.com. From there, you'll get access to my Twitter, my Instagram, YouTube. I try to put matches in there. I also have a Patreon where you can get exclusive matches, exclusive pictures, and that's where I write like road stories. I try to do little vlogs and blogs, all kinds of stuff there. So it's lots of fun. And besides that, yeah, just go on LuFisto.com. You'll get all the links, and that way you don't have to remember anything else, and you can find me.
Amazing,
Awesome.
amazing, man. Thank you, LuFisto, for taking your time out to join us, your busy schedule to join us. Just don't go anywhere. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for another great episode of Tea Time with Tommy and LuFisto. Thanks again, guys. Take care, everyone.